Well, hello. Today's video is going to be a little bit different. We are out coastal foraging with Craig Evans, who has he runs a YouTube channel called Coastal Foraging with Craig Evans, and has been an incredible supporter of me in the early days of expeditions and of Conservation Without Borders since then. He's currently offering coastal foraging courses in support of Conservation Without Borders. He's also, though, one of my favourite human beings.
Right, here today with Sacha Dench of Conservation Without Borders, making a little video clip of what we're going to see and find today. We're looking to harvest some wild garlic and some other plants, along with some seashore delicious edibles. I'm going to cook it all up later on, so hope you're going to enjoy that. Well, I brought you this environment now, which is a damp, shady area, which is we've lots of it in Wales, to pick this delicious edible plant called wild garlic. And we're lucky this time of year because as time goes on, the wild garlic sends up this flower spike. And that's the unopened buds, and that's the flower. So we're going to chop this up and stir fry it with some lovely butter later on. And you find that it tastes...
Oh my gosh, that is much sweeter than I thought.
Yeah, sweet and crunchy, a bit like a very mild spring onion.
I've eaten the leaves, but the stalk is
not many
delicious.
people have. It's much better than the leaf.
Yeah. This is Craig's coastal foraging version of a Easter bunch of flowers, but way more useful. Okay. So we've stopped en route for another mission.
Yeah.
What are we after?
We're looking for some bracket fungi now, called pheasant's tail, or another word is dryad saddle.
Dryad saddle?
Dryads.
Oh, dryad saddle.
Dryad saddle, which is quite a meaty, flavoursome mushroom.
And what does dryad mean for anyone that doesn't know?
It's a spirit of the woods in antiquity, apparently.
So it's essentially the spirit of the trees in this mushroom, if we can find them.
Normally lives on dead oak. And lo and behold.
Oh my gosh!
There you go.
These are vast.
There it is.
Down to the shore. It's a really high tide, so you can't even see rock pools, and this is at low tide.
Yep.
But you said it's so high that actually basically we're not going to get any shellfish.
We're not going to get any shellfish. The tide needs to be about another 3/4 of a metre at least below what it is today.
But this is just normal cycles of tides.
Normal cycle of the tide.
We knew it was going to be challenging. However, instead of that, we are gathering.
Yeah, we've got some of this seaweed now, which is lava or porphyra and bullicalis. This is what in Wales we normally eat fried with cockles and bacon, or something mixed with oatmeal and little patties.
But most people would have eaten it wrapped around sushi.
Yeah, they would have.
So limpet harvesting, what are you looking for in a limpet?
Well,
big size? Small?
No, not really. Average size. That's quite a big one. So what we do, the main thing with limpets, they stuck to the rocks like a limpet. So you have to shock them.
Funny that.
Shock them.
Okay.
So, like that. See? Now, if you just did that, they'd clamp down. They'd go really hard then. So what we're going to do is get a dozen of those now, and I'll show you how to eat them and prepare them. So, limpets now, which we've harvested, we've knocked it off the rock. And limpets have the hardest known substance in nature in the tooth, just in there. Mm-hmm. It's an iron compound called goethite. So what limpets do, they go around grazing algae, and they always return to the same spot every time.
The other thing you mentioned, Craig, was with the limpets, as with pretty much anything, you don't take too many, but you gave a really good kind of reason and example, recent example of why.
A really good reason is that once you take something or one species out of the environment, something else will take over. Now the Sea Empress oil spill, where we had almost 70,000 tonnes of oil spilled by the Sea Empress oil tanker in Milford Haven. I think it's about 30 years ago now.
How far away from here?
It's about 25 miles.
Okay.
So what's happened is that the oil killed most of the sea life on the entrance of Milford Haven. So then, because nothing was keeping things like seaweeds in check, the following couple of years, the whole area had a luxurious growth of seaweed, far too much. So it just goes to show, you remove something, something else to take over. Everything's returned in a perfect balance now, but that's a great example of not over-harvesting from one spot.
Yeah.
So what we do with wild garlic or cockles or clams or limpets, you thin the area out, not taking too much from one area. Really important.
Do you know what, Craig? What I most love, I think, about coastal foraging with you is the passion. Can I ask where it came from?
I think it's in the blood. Right, what we've got here now, going to cook all this up. So start with the land first. So we saw and picked this pheasant's back or dryad saddle bracket mushroom. We've got some wild garlic. We've got the flower stems, the flowers and the leaves. We've got some lovely crispy sea radish. A few wild chives. Then going into the sea, we've got, bear in mind, most of this wasn't caught today. It's been brought with me because the tides aren't suitable to go out deep enough to get them. Native common prawns, Palmeon serratus.
Where do you catch them?
It's a secret, but over that way. We've got some razor clams, some cockles, some soft shell clams. They've got a few names, or otter shells, or Maya clams they're called. Yeah, so we're going to stir fry everything up, and then we're going to garnish it then with some of these edible flowers. We've got all sorts in there, from primroses to apple blossom. There's cuckoo flowers. Yeah, as a garnish.
Are these all wild?
All wild. Yep. Yeah, so then we're going to serve it all up then in oyster shells.
Flowers definitely add all kinds of subtle flavours and spices.
Okay. Right.
I mean, the prawns are delicious. For a small prawn, they're really meaty.
Right.
And have quite a strong flavour. They're really delicious. What else is a bit unusual on this plate? So this cooked radish. This radish stalk. Oh, hang on. How could we forget the limpet?
Right. Yeah. Okay, so that's.
It's definitely so the limpet, Craig.
Pardon?
The limpet, I am actually impressed by.
Yeah, nice when it's small. You see.
It's nice.
Yeah.
It definitely there's a chew to it, but it's not chewy. Overall, every single element of this is yummy on its own. Combined, it's absolutely delicious and it's beautiful. Feast for the eyes looking here, feast for the eyes looking at the cooking and the stove and the open fire, and a feast for the eyes with the view. You've had some pretty interesting careers before getting into coastal foraging, including working in the military and being a banker.
Yep.
What all of those life experiences make you who you are, and I think you're a pretty special individual.
I worked for a major bank and enjoyed it at first. But
yeah. What's the appeal? I mean, what is the appeal?
The appeal of what? Banking?
Yeah.
Salary? salary.
I mean, like that's a appeal of most careers, so
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
completely fine. Yeah. Did you enjoy that?
Initially, but then again, toward the end, it got a bit of corporate, too corporate, target driven. You know.
Yeah.
So not made me ill, so I left.
Made you ill? What bit of it made
mentally
you
ill,
ill?
stressful ill. You could never achieve your targets, and whatever you did wasn't good enough toward the end.
And so how did it happen that you went from, okay, banking, making you sick from stress and whatever else, into a successful coastal foraging business with a YouTube channel with an outrageous number of followers?
Well, so when I...
it's not what people would have thought of you, I'm assuming, when you chose to leave. None of them were thinking, this is what he's going for.
No, because when I left banking, I was ill. I couldn't do anything. I couldn't think for myself. It was
really
quite nasty. Yeah. So then I managed to buy myself a 40-acre woodland, and the woodland itself.
And that was part of helping. That was part of you recovering.
Oh yeah, very much so. Yeah, being out in nature and in the woods. Yeah, and I managed that woodland then for about 7, 8, 9 years, and then most of the conifers were cut down, and I got them replanted then with 28,000 native broadleaf trees to put it back to nature as it was. I've always done coastal foraging and foraging of some sort and been out in nature, always.
And have you always done interacting with people?
Yeah, I'd say so. Yeah, but to get this business going, it's all to do really with the internet.
The model is how the business launched.
Yeah, I just enjoy being with people, learning about their experiences and, you know, educating them. And I get some very interesting people on my courses from all walks of life.
So what are you doing for us at the moment?
So the whole point is that make some good footage for you to promote then your raffle for a prize to come out to do this properly and to raise funds then for conservation without borders.
And when you say properly, what do you mean by properly? Because this was pretty amazing experience for me, even though you say the tides aren't.
The tides, no, we see an awful lot more. We talk a lot about marine biology, geology, local history. We discuss, you know, how everything lives, what it eats, what eats it. Talk about sponges and about the general environment. I do view this cooking bit as just an added bonus at the end.
I do too.
Yeah. Take the top off and voila.
Voila! And what do we have?
You can see the prawns, razor clams, cockles, soft shell clams, and I think the best bit of it is going to be the broth, the juice in the bottom, the sauce.
Yep. Wow. Sorry, say that again.
What?
What did you just say?
Well, we're going to walk back now and bring a bag so we can...
No, you didn't. You said I'm going to get a knife and a bag and we're going to walk off to a secret location. It's all sounding highly dubious.
Quiet now, right now. For the next bit, I'm going to have to blindfold you both, right? No.
Yes, in 1 second.
Okay.
Yes. So this is the Craig Effens. Craig Effens?
Yeah, whatever.
So here we have a dryad salad grown out.
Saddle, not salad.
Did I say salad? Yeah. Okay, here we are.
you are. Yeah, so the thing is with this now, called Lords and Ladies, because the flower of it, or cuckoo pint, the flower of it, the outside of the flower, looks like a female form.
Okay.
And the inside looks like a male form.
So that rather grand sounding name is because of its resemblance to genitalia.
Yes.
Everything else is out of the way, but what I have noticed is a few... What I have noticed is that you have to constantly throw the rock.
Oh, yes. Just leave me keep Cloud quiet a second. I did that bit out.
Yeah, you carry on.
What are you doing?
Paul has fallen off a rock. What?
Sliding off.
So I've just taken over the camera.
Should have
Okay.
picked a better rock.
We had an incredible day out with Craig. His enthusiasm, knowledge, and excitement about being out on the coast is infectious. If you would like to win some places on a course with Craig, then you can at the moment through the Conservation Without Borders raffle. You'll find the link in the description below. You can also get involved with Conservation Without Borders in other ways, just as Craig has, becoming a patron. You will find also a link in the description below, or you can Google Conservation Without Borders and contact us through the website.